This song's called When My Time Comes. There were moments of dreams I was offered to save. I lived less like a workhorse, more like a slave. I thought that one quick moment that was noble or brave would be worth the most of my life. So I pointed my fingers and shouted few quotes I knew, as if something that's written should be taken as true. But every path that I've taken, that conclusion I drew, would put truth back under the knife. And now the only piece of advice that continues to help is anyone that's making anything new only break something else. When my time comes, oh, oh, when my time comes, oh, oh. So I took what I wanted and put it out of my reach. I wanted to pay for my successes with all of my defeats. And if heaven was all that was promised to me, why don't I pray for death? And now it seems like the unraveling started too soon. I am sleeping in hallways and drinking perfume and speaking to mirrors and howling at moons. What the worse and worse that it gets. Oh, you can judge the whole world on the sparkle that you think it lacks. You can stare into the abyss, but it's staring right back. When my time comes, oh, when my time comes, oh, oh, you can judge the whole world on the sparkle that you think it lacks. You can stare into the abyss, but it's staring right back. When my time comes, oh, oh, when my time comes, oh, So guys, new in Rapture here. Thank you all for joining. Thank you for the views. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the few donations in the past. Thank you for the shares. Thank you for the nice little comments. We are going to get started here. I have some new Rapture revelations that are just so amazing, man. God left all these things here for us. Can you guys hear me? Can somebody tell me if you can hear me out there, please? I would greatly appreciate it if somebody could do that for me. Just want to make sure that you can hear me. Somebody tell me if they could hear me. Yep, okay, great. Thank you. Hey, Dania. Dania G. Thank you, appreciate it. So here we go. Let's get started. Show you amazing things that God left us to know when the rapture is. I've shared some of this, but I'm going to share some of it some more. And I have new things to add with it. It's going to be really good. Really, really good. So let's get started. So we know that God declares the end from the beginning. Isaiah 46:10, right? And I've talked a lot about Adam on my channel and shown you guys some amazing things. I want to run over a few of those things, and then I want to run over some new things that I found. So God declares the end from the beginning, and he left it all in Adam. I mean, in amazing ways. So the name Adam in Hebrew is 3 letters. It is the Aleph, the Dalet, and the Mem. Okay, 3 letters. And the Aleph in modern Hebrew looks something like this. Something like this. Kind of. That's a really bad depiction. And then the Dalet looks something like this in modern Hebrew. Like a door, right? That's what Dalet actually stands for, door. And then the Mem in modern Hebrew. Now this is what I wanted to show you guys. So the Mem in modern Hebrew is a little house. But actually, in Adam's name, it's the final Mem that is used. So it's actually called a final Mem. And the final Mem, interesting, think about it, final, right? Finite, the end, is the shape of literally a square or a cube. The final Mem is a square, okay? Now, this is one of the things I wanted to share with you guys. That I've shared before, that the rapture and the flood, or the end of time, is in Adam's name, as well as many other things, 2025. So let me see if I can organize this. That's the whole trick to this. So in Hebrew, the Aleph has a numerical value of 1. And the Dalet has a numerical value of 4. Now the Mem in ordinal Hebrew gematria has a value of 13. Okay. And this is because it's the 13th letter. So in ordinal Hebrew gematria, which means like ordinary, it just goes according to letter position, right? So the first letter is the Aleph, the 4th is the Dalet, and the 13th is the Mem. And it adds up to 18. Now this is amazing. Because 18 is 6 plus 6 plus 6. And 666 is the number of man. Who's the first man? Adam. And so his name equals 666. The first man, right? 666 is the number of man. Revelation 13, verse 17 and 18. Now, the Mem in standard gematria doesn't equal 13 anymore. It equals 40. Okay? 40. And that's amazing too, because when you add that up,
1, 4, and 40, you get 45. And we know on this channel that the number 45 is the square root. Get it? Square, mem? Square root of 2025. Which means that 45 times 45 equals 2025. Okay? So that mem right there is telling us a lot of things. So the final mem on Adam's name is a square. We are in a square year. Okay, 2025 is considered a square year because it has a square root. The last square year was 1936, in which it was 44 times 44. See? For a number to have a square root, that means that two numbers multiplied to itself equals that number. So, like 44 is the square root of 1936, or the number 3 is the square root of 9 because 3 times 3 is 9. So it's rare to be in a square year, and isn't it interesting that the final mem on Adam's name is a square, it's a cube, okay? And that connects with the number 45, square root of 2025. And we are still in 2025 as of April 1st, okay? And this is when I believe the rapture will be. Now, there's a lot to this, okay? There's a lot I want to show you guys. Thank you guys all. I know it's late. People are like, you know, they're like, it's a bad time to go on, but that's okay. So, as I said, in Adam's name, you have the rapture. Okay, you have Aleph, which means strength or God, which is like Adam, right? The God man. He's the first Adam, Jesus Christ, the second Adam. And then you have the door that opens in heaven, the Delet, right? The rapture, the door that opens in heaven. And then you have the Mem, which means water, the flood. But it's not a Mem, it's a final Mem. So you have the door opening in heaven, the Delet, in Adam's name. And then you have the Mem, the final Mem, which is a flood, water, and chaos. And it's actually a square. And we are in the square year, 2025, in which Adam's name equals the square root of 2025. See all these connections? Now, what else I wanted to show you, also remember this, and a connection to Passover, which is April 1st coming up, the last day of 2025. And, because what happened on Passover? The door, they put blood on the door, they went in the house, and death passed over them. That's a picture of the rapture, okay? And so you have the door, Passover, right? April 1st, the last day of 2025. Then you have the Mem, the final Mem, the flood. Okay? It's here. We're here, okay? Now, what's interesting is that the number 13, the final Mem, or the Mem is the 13th letter, right? And interestingly enough, the word, when you spell it out, 13. Look at, let's add it up. The T is the 20th letter. The H is the 8th, so 28. The I is the 9th, so 28, 37, right? And then we have the R is 18, so 55. And then the T is 20, so 75. The two E's are 5 each, 85. And 85 plus N, the N is the 14th letter, is 99. So the Mem is the 13th letter, also is the final Mem, same thing. Not the same exact thing, but it's the same letter placement. And 13, the 13th letter, the flood, equals 13 equals 99. And that's the same as the value of, I'm telling you guys, this is crazy, as rapture. Rapture equals 99. Okay? So that's another thing that I wanted to show you guys. And then remember, from Adam's death, okay? From Adam's death at 930 years old to the flood of Noah, okay? To the flood of Noah, 1656. It's exactly, okay? It's exactly 726 years. Okay? You have 2020, you have the 2025 and the flood all over Adam, okay? He died at 930 years old. The flood was 1656. The difference between the flood, which is also used in the Mem, and Adam's death, which was probably at Passover. You know, if Christ died on Passover, Christ is the second Adam or the last Adam. It would make sense that Adam died on Passover as well. He didn't know it was Passover at that time, but I'm sure that's what happened, I bet. So Adam died at 930 years. The flood was 1656 years, exactly 726 years in between. Okay? And we have 2025 encoded in Adam. And we also have the Mem, which is the flood, the 13th letter, and 13 equals 99, in which Rapture also equals 99. That's crazy, okay? The Rapture is coming, okay? The Rapture is coming, all right? Don't let anybody lie to you. We are not in 2026. We are in 2025 till April 1st. Do your research, okay? There's a lot of nonsense in the comments section, you know, and I just ignore it, you know. So that's amazing to me, okay? The fact that the mem on Adam's name is a final mem, which is a square. That's amazing because 2025 is a square year, which is a very rare thing. And the square root of 2025 is a number 45, in which that's the value of Adam's name in standard gematria. See, these things are all crazy to me, man. And the mem is the 13th letter, in which 13 equals 99, which rapture equals 99. And between Adam's death, which was most likely at Passover, again, because if Adam died, Jesus died at Passover, makes sense that Adam would die at Passover, right? And that's the door. When Passover was, they put blood on the door. Blood is symbolic of the Spirit as well. And they went in the house, right? The door opens in heaven, like Matthew 25, the wise virgins. Door opens in heaven and they go in. Just like John of Revelation, chapter 4. He hears a voice as a trump talking with him, and a door opens in heaven, and he's caught up in the Spirit. This is all the rapture, and it's all with Adam. And this whole thing is laid out in Adam. The whole thing. Everything about it. Now, I know I've talked a lot about a lot of that already, but there was some other things because that number 13, right? I mean, I can't believe it equals the same value as Rapture. That blew me away. But not only all of that, let me show you this, okay? Is that when we go to 1 Corinthians 13, okay? Again, 13 equals 99. And 1 Corinthians has exactly 13 chapters. So you have 13, add 13 again. I think that God is trying to talk to us here in 1 Corinthians 13. Now, what is 13 plus 13? That's 26. 13 plus 13 is 26. 1 Corinthians 13 has 13 verses. 13 and 13. What is 26? See, this is all connected. God equals 26. The name of God, YHVH, Yahweh equals 26. That's amazing. Connection with 1 Corinthians 13, okay? And again, has to do with the flood, the mem, the 13th letter in Adam's name, which is the square, okay, the mem. And we know now, here's another amazing connection. The third eye, which is the ajna. It's called the ajna, the pineal. Okay? And it equals 26. AJNA, that equals 26 as well. You can add these up yourself, okay? So First Corinthians 13 is talking to us in a very deep way. Okay? Now watch this. What is First Corinthians 13 about? Well, it's talking about us seeing God face to face, right? We see through a glass darkly. But other versions talk about looking at our reflection in a mirror. I like that better. Okay, I love my KJV, but sometimes the words that are picked, sometimes they're, you know, sometimes in other versions it's a little more. It's interesting as well. So in First Corinthians 13 verse 12 it says, and 13 plus 12 is 25. We have Matthew 25. We're in 2025. Okay. First Corinthians 13:12 says, we see through a glass darkly, but then we will know as we are known when we see him face to face. Okay, this is connected, as I've talked about, back to Genesis when Jacob wrestled with the angel of the Lord, and he said I saw God face to face, talking about the angel of the Lord, which was Jesus. Had to be, because he said I saw God face to face. But the place that he named the place where he wrestled with the angel and he saw God face to face, like 1 Corinthians 13, is at Peniel. So the place where he saw God face to face was at Peniel. 1 Corinthians 13, talking about seeing God face to face. 13 is 26. Okay. Our Peniel is called the Ajna, which equals 26. God equals 26. Yahweh equals 26. We see God, we're going to see God face to face at Peniel. The kingdom of God is within you. The kingdom of God does not come with observation. We're going to see him face to face at the rapture at Peniel. Somehow, I don't know how all this is going to work. Okay, I don't exactly know what this rapture is exactly, but it's going to happen, and we're going to know. And that's the amazing connection. Is this is all in First Corinthians 13, the number 13, right? 13 equals 99, which is the value of rapture. There's 13 verses in First Corinthians 13. The 13th letter in the Hebrew alphabet is the mem, or the final mem, which is the water. It means water and chaos, flood. Okay, and it's the last letter in Adam's name, and we just did all over Adam. Right, so that's amazing. The number 13. Okay, we're gonna, and again, does this mean that the rapture is internal only? Kingdom of God is within us and stuff like that. Well, it could be, but also remember that everything on earth is a shadow, an image of things in heaven. So just like there's a place called Peniel on earth, well, there might be as well a place in heaven called Peniel. See, everything down here is just on a lower vibration. It's a lower frequency. It's a lower existence. It's slowed down. Um, and that's what it is. That's why when David talks about walking through the valley of the shadow of death, this place, earth, is really as it is the shadow of death. It's everything down here is an image of the true in heaven. Just like Jesus Christ is the image of the invisible God, right? The image, right? So he was God in the flesh, but everything down here is veiled under this flesh, right? Under this fallen flesh. That's what everything is down here. That's why it's a fallen world. Well, look at that word fallen. Everything's fallen down here. It's slower. The vibrations are lower. That's why demons and devils can get to you, because they're on a lower vibration, on a lower frequency, on a lower level. So we're in between. If there was such thing as purgatory in the middle of heaven and hell, earth would be it. That's what this place is. Right? You have a glimpse of heaven here, you have a glimpse of hell here. Okay? You're tied into both. Okay? And so, yeah, I found that amazing about 1 Corinthians 13, that, the number 13, there's 13 verses in 1 Corinthians 13, and the whole thing is talking about Peniel, right? Our Ajna, right? The third eye, when we see God face to face, which is connected back to Genesis, because God declares the end from the beginning. where Jacob wrestled with the angel of the Lord. Jesus, he said, I saw God face to face. Where? At Peniel. We'll go to 1 Corinthians 13. Again, the number 13 is the mem, which is the flood, which is a square, or in a square year. 2025, the square root of 2025 is 45, which is Adam. God declares the end from the beginning. Okay, 13 plus 13 verses. 1 Corinthians 13 is 26. God equals 26. I saw God face to face, right? Yahweh equals 26. God. The Adonai equals 26. World War Z, right? What's World War Z with Brad Pitt? Get it? The bottomless pit. World War Z, the Z is the 26th letter in the alphabet. And what happens in World War Z is a bunch of zombies attack Jerusalem, right? So there's a lot here. So I wanted to bring in some of these revelations about the number 13, okay? Because when I saw that it equals 99, and that I thought about the mem, the final mem on Adam's name and what it means and everything, I'm like, geez, another major connection. Then I noticed that 1 Corinthians 13, all about Peniel, right, and the rapture and the flood, has 13 chapters as well. So 13, 13 again, it's like, and this whole thing about the number 13, right? There's a movie called 13 Ghosts, the 13th floor, and all this stuff about the number 13. So, yeah, that's just some of what I wanted to talk about and with you guys. I've already talked about a lot of things about Adam, about how, excuse me one second. About his name equaling 45, the square root of 2025 in standard gematria. And then the mem is 40 in standard gematria, not 13, it's 40. So that's interesting because we know that it's 40 jubilees, right? 2,000 years. So a jubilee is 50 years. You have the mem that equals 40. 40 jubilees is 2,000 years. 40 times 50 is 2,000 from when Jesus was baptized, from when he started his ministry. Or, it would actually be, technically 2,000 years from Passover in 2025, 26. Excuse me. It would be 2,000 years from 25, 26. Okay, so, and again, that would be when Jesus was baptized around that time and when he started his ministry and all that stuff. So I thought all these connections are amazing, Passover just happens to be on a full pink moon, right? Full moon. On Proverbs 7, verses 19 and 20, it says that the good man returns on a full moon, something to that effect. He has a bag of money, he returns on a full moon or something like that. So yeah, I really think it, of all the days, March 29th, 30, 31, or April 1st, I think it's April 1st. It would be the last day, the first day or the last day of 2025, kind of, right? April 1st. But it would be the first day of 2026. But we know the rapture is 2025 because all the 45s, right? Enoch equals 45, Elijah equals 45, both rapture. Daniel equals 45 about the last days. Psalm 45 is a royal wedding between Jesus and the church. It's just riddled with 45s in the Bible in these certain spots. Adam equals 45, and 45 is square root of 2025. 45 times 45 is 2025. And so it's very important to know that April 1st is the last day of 2025, basically, which is Passover, full pink moon. So it could happen before then, but what is Passover about? It's about the door, right? Putting blood on the door, going in. Man, that's the wise virgins, man. That's a picture of the door opening in heaven to me. So I feel strongly that it's going to be Passover and not a day before that. But it could be a day before that, like the triumphal entry day, 329. If you look at March as the third month, it would be 329, which is 923 backwards. Could be. And I found some patterns for that as well. But my guess is it's going to be on Passover. And so then I've talked about how there's the 10 days that they took out 10 days of the calendar. So April 1st could actually be April 12th. But we'll see. We'll see how it pans out. Either way, whether the rapture is March 29th, April 1st, or April 12th, we're here. This is it. There's no doubt in my mind that this is it. Okay, we are here. And how do I know it's in 2025? How do I know we are in 2025? Because of the Revelation 12 sign. The Revelation 12 sign in September, Feast of Trumpets 2017, was a 12-year warning to the end, 2029 Feast of Trumpets. And then the Jubilee would be 2030, okay? So 29 is the Shemitah year, the year of release, the seventh year. And then 2030 would be, the 50th year in a Jubilee cycle. And so the Revelation 12 sign was a 12-year warning. Where do I get that from? Because it's in Revelation chapter 12. There's 12 tribes, and it goes back to the story in the Gospels where there was a woman who had an issue of blood for 12 years. Get it? The woman in the heaven, clothed with the sun, with the moon under her feet, the Revelation 12 sign, the woman, well, she had an issue with blood for how many years? 12 years. 12 years, right? So Revelation 12 sign, the woman, 12-year warning to 2029, Feast of Trumpets, the end, and then you have 2030, in which the year is going to change at the Feast of Trumpets in 2029, I believe, because the calendar is going back to how it was in the beginning. God declares the end from the beginning, so he's resetting it to how it was in the beginning and the creation of Adam, which he created Adam on the sixth day, which was the Feast of Trumpets. So there's so much information, and I can't really say it slow because the videos would go on forever. So if you know, you know. But yeah, I just wanted to show you guys a few things, a few new revelations that I kind of found. Thanks all you guys for joining me. Hey. Rapture Recky's on here. Hey, good to see you, man. Yeah, we're here, man. We are here for sure, man. Yeah, right, right. Palm Sunday for sure. That's the triumphal entry, man. And in the sixth seal, check this out, Rapture Recky. In the sixth seal, they had palms in their hand in heaven. So that maybe it was Palm Sunday. Yep, the sixth seal. The sixth seal, they had palms in their hands in heaven at the throne of God. So that maybe that's a clue towards Palm Sunday. Yeah, it could be 329 if you start at January and look at it like that. It's a pattern, We're looking at patterns here, but it's definitely 2025, man. I mean, that's a way to look at it, 329. But we know the first day of the new year is actually April 1st, but we can look at it both ways and see patterns. So, yeah. Heck yeah, man. Yeah, man. The whole Bible is full of connections. Just like in the sixth seal, when the sixth seal is cracked open, there's a great earthquake. Well, that was at Passover, because at Passover, after Christ died, there was what? A great earthquake. So I see these little connections, and I've had them in my mind for quite a while, and I hear them from other people too. You know how we do. We're listening, we're watching, so all this information gets caught up in the mind. But yeah, there's some clues to Passover. There's some clues to Palm Sunday in the sixth seal. Great earthquake, and then palms in their hands at the throne of God. Yeah. But yeah, I just wanted to share some of this stuff on the number 13 and Adam and 1 Corinthians 13, because 13 equals 99, man. And 13 is the mem, which is the flood. So, and 99 is rapture. But yeah, we're going to stay with it, man. We're here, man. We are here. We are at the end. And when it comes down to the day, we're going to find out. But the amazing thing is, man, it's like we know we're here, right? And it's like I don't know exactly what the rapture is, because there's different. Here's the thing about the rapture. There's different raptures in the Bible that are not all the same, okay? And now think about this. There's different raptures in the Bible that are not all the same. Like, for instance, Enoch. Well, we know that Enoch didn't see death, and he must have disappeared, right? And then we have Elijah, who was literally caught up in the heavens, his whole body. But here's the thing. This is the this is the tricky part to me is that when we get to Paul, he has a rapture experience, but it's only in the spirit. So he's like, I knew a man 14 years ago. Again, Passover's on the 14th. I knew 14th of Nisan. He says, I knew a man 14 years ago, and I don't know whether I was in the body or out of the body, but I was in the third heaven. So yeah, and then he was caught up. So it even uses the word harpazo. So Paul has his rapture, right? His rapture experience, but it was in the spirit. Um, and that's not like Enoch and Elijah, because Enoch and Elijah were taken completely. And then John in Revelation chapter 4, he has a rapture experience, but it's just in the spirit, right? He was caught up in the spirit. That means that his body didn't go anywhere. So I don't know, man. I got to be honest with you. I don't exactly know which one it is, or if it's both somehow. I don't know if our bodies go or just spirits go, or we go up and then we like come back down, or we're like, or we go up and we're here at the same time, or two places at once, like quantum entanglement in science, where you're two places at once. I don't really know. We're gonna find out though. I mean, look, we're gonna find out. We're right here. Well, we're on the 21st now, so we've got 11 more days, and it's April 1st. And then if that 10 days that they took out of the calendar back in the 1500s counts, then it won't be April 1st, it'll be April 12th. But we're going to see. We're going to see how it all pans out, man. That's it. We're going to find out. I hope it's April 1st. I hope it's March 29th, too. Any day is good. But we know the year. That's the whole thing. Yeah, man, pretty close. A little more than a week, but yeah, I get what you're saying. I mean, we're right there. There's no point in quitting now. There's no point in quitting now. We need to push towards the mark. We need to just endure. We have to endure being around a bunch of zombies that don't even care. That's the worst part of it about it, is that it's like everybody's just thinking about, just normal stuff. And when you try to talk to people, they don't want anything to do with it. And that's the worst part about all this. It's like, okay, get me out of here. This sucks because this is not, we're in two different realities here. Okay. So this is not for me. I don't belong here anymore. That's really what it comes down to. Those of us who are ready to be raptured, we know one thing: we don't belong here anymore. This is not where we belong. We are ready to go where we belong, because this ain't it, man. This place ain't it. Whoa, we got somebody cussing here. Wow, we got somebody pretty angry here. Says he's a Hebrew Israelite. Yeah, I know about the Hebrew Israelites, but I won't say too much. Yeah, well, you need to read Paul if you don't think that there's a rapture, because clearly there is. There's lots of raptures in the Bible. There's a lot of anger there, man. If you're a man of God and you come on here and cuss, that's a bad sign, bro. That's a bad sign. I'm not saying I'm perfect, but I don't get up and just start cussing at people. That's crazy. That's crazy. So, anyways. Yeah, Rapture Recky, we're ready, man. We're ready to go. This ain't our place. You Hebrew Israelites could have it. The Hebrew Israelite guy could have it. You can stay. Don't worry. It sounds like you are staying. Nobody's oppressing you, dude. You came on my live stream. What are you talking about? Oppression? What? Yeah. So, anyways, God bless you, Hebrew Israelite guy. Hopefully, Christ enlightens you to be a little more rational, sound minded, sound words, not come on people's things and cuss. But we'll see. Yeah, that's okay. Well, you can believe what you want, man. I have evidence to back up what I'm saying. Yeah, no, somebody like that who's totally against the rapture and cussing out people like that for the rapture. Yeah, they're not rapture ready. They're not going to the rapture. Seriously doubt it. Jesus is taking those who love his appearing. And this guy, along with some others, are not those people. So, and he's going to talk about the skin color of Christ, in which, this video is not. We're going to go through hell, huh? Yeah, yeah. Okay. Well, you have a good one, man. Anyways, thank you guys for joining. Sorry about the comments, can't control that. You get any old people who don't like evidence. Really, this guy just can't wait for other people to suffer because he's so mad. He just wants people to suffer. Oh, man. That's not the spirit of Christ, bro. Just remember that. You coming out here cussing, wanting people to suffer? That ain't Christ. That's the spirit of something else, man. That's right. Yeah, Revelation 3:10 is actually supporting a rapture, by the way. Anyways, I'll see you